Hi everyone and welcome to another cooking video. So I thought I would share my chicken pilau recipe. It's not exactly my recipe, I found it on Pinterest and I absolutely fell in love with it because my kids love it, the whole family likes it, so it is a winner every time I make it. So I'm making it using chicken breast, but you can use any kind of chicken, and like cut up chicken with bones, anything like that. The recipe actually tells you to use bones, but I don't like bones very much, so I don't use them. It's just easier to eat without bones, isn't it? I'm using one large chicken breast, which is frozen, which I've just defrosted in my sink right now. I'm going to use a little pan over there. Can you see it? That one. And my recipe is on here, so I will leave the link to this in the description and you can make it yourself. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually get my rice ready. So I'm going to use 1 cup of rice, one big, large, massive, huge cup of rice because that's the perfect amount for my family. And I'm going to soak that right now. So let's do that first. Please excuse the mess of my kitchen. Honestly, I have not had time to clean it properly. That is why the cooker is a mess and there's just stuff everywhere. So it's just real life, guys. This is what happens. I keep my rice in this thing here, which is a trolley like that. It's got lids and just crap on the bottom, but these are my rice and flour containers. So this is chapati flour and this is the rice, and then I just put the bags inside here. So this is my rice bag. I'm actually going to use a cup this size, which is a really big mug, which I love having tea in the evenings. I love this mug. I'm going to use my favourite rice strainer in the world. This is so perfect for rice. This is from Poundland, but I don't know if they do it anymore. I'm just going to put water in there and let that soak. So we've been joined by little munchkin. What's wrong? You gonna help me? So in this pan I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Salt is already out. So salt, an onion. I'm going to chop up an onion and put that in. It doesn't matter how you chop the onion because it's just going to get boiled. It's part of the stock. You're not going to use this onion for anything else. You're going to eat the pear. So we need half a teaspoon of cloves, half a teaspoon of black peppercorns, 4 cardamoms, bay leaf. It says you need 6 garlic cloves and 1 inch of coriander, but I've got garlic and ginger paste, so I'm going to use that and put in a big teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. And then we need some coriander seeds, which are in here. 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds, and that is everything that we need for the stock. So that is all in the pan here. And then I'm just going to add some water to that so it just covers it and goes about halfway up the pan. I don't measure the water. It says you need 3 cups of water, but I don't use that. I make my own measurements up sometimes. I'm going to start boiling that, and then I'm going to add my chicken once it starts boiling. So that is on to boil. Now while that is doing its thing, I'm going to do the prep for the rest of it so that the rest of it is easy to do. We need 1 onion finely sliced. So I'm going to use my mandolin because it just gets the best sliced onions. So that's all done, and that's just going to stay to the side until I need it. So we need 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. We need a large teaspoon of garlic and ginger paste, so I'm going to put that in there as well. Tomato. It says half a tomato, but I like to use a whole tomato. I'm just going to cut that up. 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm not going to add too much because I'll add it if I need to after. Half a teaspoon of chili powder. Half a teaspoon of coriander powder. And that is that little bowl done, because you add all of this at the same time. Before we start on the next bit, the stock is bubbling away, so I'm going to add the chicken to that. That looks like a lot of chicken. So that is going to boil now for 20 minutes, so I'm going to set an alarm for that. Alexa, set an alarm for 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
So back to prepping the rest of the food. So I need half a cup of yogurt. It says plain yogurt, but I actually use Greek style yogurt for most of my food that I make. So half a cup of yogurt, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, so that's going to go in with the yogurt. It says add 2 cardamoms, but I really don't like whole spices in my food, so I'm not going to add that. It also asks for 1 tablespoon of freshly chopped mint, which I got from Aldi, so I'm going to prepare that as well. That is everything prepared. There's nothing for me to do apart from clean up now, wash the rice a little bit. I'm going to wait for the timer to go off for that. I'm going to just tidy up the kitchen and then I will be back. This smells so good, I'm not even going to lie. It smells like a soup that you want to eat when you're ill. So the timer has just gone off for the stock and the chicken, so I'm going to use this, which is a bowl and a sieve, and I'm going to sieve the stock out of the chicken. It smells so good. And then what I'm going to do is take all of the pieces of chicken out and put them in a separate bowl. I'm going to use some tongs to pick out the chicken because it is going to be hot. So let's do that. Try not to get any of the spices or those onions in there because you don't want to be biting into any of those. So the chicken is all out now and that is ready to go into the rice when the rice is done. I'm going to taste the chicken because why not? I'm not actually going to make the rice right now. I'm going to wait until I pick Elise up from nursery and then I'm going to finish off doing the food because it's going to take longer than the time that I have. So everything is prepared. The rice just needs a little rinse and that's it. So with this, you can just get rid of this, let it drain out in the sink and then just throw that in the bin. And then this is the chicken stock that you're going to be using for the rice. I'm actually also going to measure the amount of stock that I have because I don't think that is 2 cups. So that is definitely not 2 cups, so I'm just going to fill this up with water. And now we have the stock prepared to go into the rice when we need it to. So I'm going to set everything up on the side here and cover it all up. And then once I come back from getting Elisa, then we can just stick it all in the pan. So I'm back and Elisa's back from nursery. Let's start on the onions. So I've put some oil in this pan that I rinsed out. Can you see it? I don't think you can. But it's about 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to heat that up and then I'm going to add my onions. So my onions are already chopped over here. So they are going to go in. So the onions are cooking away and I'm going to cook them until they're nice and brown. While I'm doing that, I'm going to wash up because I didn't get a chance to do it before, and I'm also going to wash the rice. The best tip that I can give you for cooking rice is when you wash the rice, make sure the water is as clear as possible, because when it's cloudy it means there's starch in it and the starch turns like gooey, so that makes you have like soggy rice basically. So the onions are looking great. So once the onions are brown, it tells you to move 1/4 of them, so I'm going to get ready to do that. They're going to go in with the mince, so I'm just going to put them in this. So I'm happy with how these are, so I'm going to remove some of them. Probably about that many. It says 1/4, so I'm guessing that's 1/4. It might be a bit more than 1/4 to be fair. And then it tells you to add the tomatoes and all of the bits that you prepared before. Now I'm going to add the yogurt and the garam masala. Now add the chicken. And then coat it in all of that gorgeous sauce. Now I'm going to add chicken stock. So I'm going to wait for the water to boil before I add the rice. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm just going to sort the rice out, drain it off, and then I'm going to come back to this. Also, this is the time that you want to taste it. So I've just got a spoon, and I'm going to take a little bit of the sauce, the stock out, and taste it. I'd say it needs a tiny bit more salt. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt. A little bit, and it doesn't need anything else. It's quite spicy, so if you're making this for kids and they don't like spice at all, then maybe leave the chili out, but today it's fine because when you put yogurt in it the spice goes anyway, and I always give my kids yogurt and rice together. So it's starting to boil, so now I'm going to add in the rice. Very full. So I'm so sorry the quality has changed on the video, but I had to swap cameras because my big camera died. But anyway, I've put the rice in and it's cooking away nicely. So I'm going to leave it on high for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to reduce the heat once the rice is cooked a bit. While that is bubbling away, I'm going to prepare my pan lid. So when I make rice like this, I use some foil to cover my pan lid because I feel like it makes the pan more airtight, and when you're making rice, that's what you want. The pan lid is ready. So that's been bubbling away for a few minutes, so I'm just going to check it. When you check it, what you're looking for is the rice to be cooked a little bit, like this. And when you move it around, it stays on the top and there's no water like on top. So I'm going to leave it for a little bit longer because there's still loads of water on the top. The rice is now cooked how I need it to be. It's kind of just staying now, but it's still very wet. I'm going to put my onions and mint on top, just sprinkle them on like this. And then I'm going to cover it. So I'm putting it on the lowest back heat. It's better when it cooks slowly, so that's what I'm doing. And now that is going to cook. I'm going to check on it in about 10 minutes and then I'll update you on how it's going. I'm going to check on the rice now. this is how it's looking. It's gorgeous. I think it's all cooked, you know. That is perfect, perfectly cooked. So what I'm gonna do is wrap this tea towel around the lid, because then that can soak up any excess water from the condensation. I don't know, I act like I know what I'm talking about, but I really don't, I just make it up. But anyway, that is just literally gonna stay there on the side until we're ready to eat this evening. I'm gonna heat it up in the oven later. That is all done, so I will show you it in a bit. But that is the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you make this recipe. Let me know in the comments below if you have a better way of making pilau rice, because this is my way. It came out spicier than usual today, so maybe put less chili powder in if you want your kids to eat it, if they don't like spice. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Like this video, subscribe, let me know what recipes you want me to do, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!